What's up everybody, Matt here from CTM Customs. Check it out. I wanted to give you a run through of our boondocking packages. So the boondocking package is an inverter, it is solar, it is the rewire of the electrical system to get it so everything works off of battery power. It's a DC to DC charger. And what you will get with that boondocking package, let's say you do the single boondocking package, which is one 320 amp hour battery. Now, in the hottest climate, you will be able to go wherever you want, park next to a lake, park next to the ocean, be out in Utah, in Moab, on some Bureau of Land Management, under the beautiful scenery. You don't need to start your generator and have your generator running in the background. You don't have to plug into power. All you do is start camping. Turn on your AC or your heat pump. Any other electrical product inside the LTV is available all the time. We've gotten a lot of inquiries basically off of our videos of our boondocking packages. So I just wanted to run through one and tell you what all is included and why we do what we do. So our boondocking package is really to be able to run your air conditioner off of the batteries is what it all boils down to. So in order to run the air conditioner off the batteries, there's a couple things that need to happen. One, you need to have a larger inverter. So you'll see in this one actually has two inverters. This is kind of not so common, but we take the inverter that you have in your leisure travel van, which is a 2000 watt Xantrex, and we take that 2000 watt out and we put a 3000 watt in. What that does is it creates a good bit of margin in between how much wattage your air conditioner draws compared to what the inverter is capable of. So you don't, it's like when you're driving your car. Yes, your car is capable of driving at 5,000 RPMs, but would you drive at your car at 5,000 RPMs all the time? No, you want to be more in a mid-range of RPMs so that the car lasts longer. So it's the same idea with the inverter. You don't want to run your inverter all the way to its max all the time, and that's what an air conditioner does. The air conditioner is drawing, especially if you're in hot climate like we are, it's just continually, the compressor's continually running, fans continually running, and that draw stays on the inverter for hours and hours and hours. So with this boondocking package, the first thing that we do is we change out the inverter for a 3000 watt inverter. Why would we do two inverters? This customer wants to be able to run the air conditioner unobstructed, but they also want to be able to do things like run a blow dryer or run a heating blanket or run the microwave. So the rule of thumb in your RV is one big appliance at a time so you don't overwork the inverter. So for that reason, we put two inverters. We run the air conditioner off of one inverter, and the other inverter runs everything else in the RV. So it'll be handling microwave, lights, basically everything else. All right, so the next thing we do is we're gonna look under the step here. So we use a couple different size batteries for the leisure travel van. We use the 320 amp hour battery, which I'm gonna show you right now. The reason we use the 320 a lot is because on the 2024 and down model, that 320 amp hour battery fits perfectly under the step. Now, if you have a 2025 and up model, the 630 amp hour fits perfectly in the side bay where your inverters are. So depending on the year and depending on the floor plan will be a deciding factor of what battery best fits in your LTV. The Wonder that have the two batteries in the side here, the Wonder is good to get a 630 in the side. And it's also, if you take those two batteries out, two of these 320s or even the 310 Boss from Lithionics will fit side by side in there, which would give you over 600 amp hours of battery. For this one specifically, this footprint has a triple battery. So everything that we talk about here at CTM, we talk about single, dual, triple, and quad. Quad being 4 equivalents of this battery. We base all of our talking off of this battery because this is what we started out doing. Now that we're doing the 630 amp hour battery, we call a single 630, we also call that a double because it's the size of 2 of these 320s. So yes, it's a single battery, but for us keeping everything organized and the amount of amp hours, we refer to that as a dual. So if you get a dual boondocking package, you'll either have 2 of these 320s or you'll have a single 630. Now, if you know you want a dual boondocking package, we can do a single battery in here under the step, and then we can do a single battery in the bay with the inverter. Or lately, what customers have liked doing is instead of doing 2 separate batteries, you can do a single 630, and that will fit in there next to the inverter. So we can mix and match. You don't have to go crazy thinking about what you want to do as far as the batteries and where they go, because once you get here, we have these batteries that are empty, so they only weigh 2 or 3 pounds. We can put them here, there, and everywhere to see if you want them. We can even put the batteries on the other side in the compartments. A lot of people that have the slide out, they will have us open the compartments over there and put the batteries over there, because when they're camping, when the slide out is out, those bays are not very accessible. So we'll put batteries over there to keep the storage over here open. So now that we've talked about the inverter, and now that we've talked about the battery, now that you're running your air conditioner on battery, you have a 320 amp hour battery. That battery will run your air conditioner. If you have the Dometic, you'll get about 3 hours of air conditioner runtime on that battery in our climate where it's hot, muggy, and humid. If you have a Truma, that goes a little bit further. You can get close to 4 hours of battery runtime on one battery. If you have the Atmos, now you're at 4 hours. So the Atmos being the most energy efficient, it also has other features where it's got a heat pump that works down to 23 degrees. But the big one is how quickly it cools down the inside of the LTV. Super efficient. So where it would take Dometic, an hour to get the temperature down inside the RV, the Atmos can get it in like 15 or 20 minutes. So it works harder, faster, and it uses less battery essentially. So now you got the AC running, you're gonna drain the battery. Let's say you have the Dometic, you're gonna drain the battery in 3 hours. Solar also comes in our boondocking package. The reason we put solar in the boondocking package is because if you have a 2024 and down, there's also some year breaks there, whether you have the laminated panels to the roof or the rigid panels to the roof. All of which we upgrade those systems because what we're trying to do is we're trying to do 2 things. We're trying to get the roof to last a long time. So we're trying to get the solar panels that get superheated away from the roof and create a gap between the solar panel and the roof. So that's 1. 2, we're trying to turn an otherwise trickle charger style of solar array converted over to an actual battery charger. So now that you have a larger battery and you're going to be consuming the battery, when you leave one place to go to another, you're going to want the battery to get charged back up as quickly as possible. So we're trying to put as many chargers in place around the LTV to get that charging up. So one of the things that we do is the boondocking packages all come with 600 watts of solar. So we put an MPPT style solar controller. It's a 50 amp controller, and that you can also see in this bay, there's a couple controllers in here. This one has a solar controller in here, and it also has the Orion TR, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the solar controller now can crank out amps into the battery even while the AC is running. Well, that got us thinking, are we able to fit enough solar on the roof to actually try and run the air conditioner? The answer to that question is almost. So with the boondocking packages, you can upgrade the solar. So it comes with 600 watts, but now 800 watts is available and 1,000 watts is available. The new solar array that we're doing right now, remember solar is like computers, it's always changing. The solar that we're doing right now is the shadow flux panels. What is it? It's October 21st, 2025. So if you see this video far in the future, there's probably something new. The Atmos air conditioner runs at about 100 amps. The Dometic runs at about 150. So I know this is a lot of information. If you switch to the Atmos, which runs at 100 amps, and you upgrade to the 1000 watts, the 1000 watts consistently puts out a little over 70 amps. So what that means is sitting out in the sun, like we're out in the sun today, with the Atmos, running your air conditioner, full blast, the sun producing 70 amps, the air conditioner is taking away 70 amps, or 100 amps, and the solar is feeding 70 amps. So now you've slowed the draw down to 30 amps. Well, our goal ultimately is to have the solar completely run the air conditioner. Say roughly 120 amps would run air conditioner, refrigerator, inverter, and a couple small lights. So how do we get to that 120 amps? We're doing another solar controller and the solar blankets by Renogy. So we have a solar package, a solar mobile array that is separate from the boondocking package. And what that is it's a solar controller that you would plug your solar panels out, and you would lay your solar blanket out while you're camping. And that's expandable to 2. So you could do 2 400 solar blankets. At that point, you would have enough solar to run everything that I just talked about. Your air conditioner, refrigerator, some lights, the inverter. And so, you know, that's kind of the deal with where we're headed for solar. But the boondocking packages, whatever price you call about and get quoted, it comes stock with 600 watts of solar. Now that we've covered the solar portion of it, we're gonna move on. We still need more battery charging. So right now, your LTV, if it hasn't been modified, 2024 and down, 23s, 24s have a red arc 50 amp DC to DC charger, which is great. That's awesome. If you have a couple years before, you have the Sterling 30 amp solar or DC to DC charger. That DC to DC charger is kind of known throughout the LTV community and beyond that charger will overheat and derate, which means if you had a way to monitor your batteries, you would see that it's not always producing 30 amps. It will drop to 10 amps, it'll drop to 8 amps, it'll drop to 18 amps. Well, when you have a battery of this size, 30 amps, 18 amps is not sufficient for battery charging. You need at least 50 amps. So our boondocking package comes with a 50 amp DC to DC charger, which means we'll take out your Sterling charger, or if you have an even older LTV and you have an isolator solenoid, we'll take out that isolator solenoid and put the DC to DC charger in there. So at the same time that we're doing the DC to DC chargers, it's a good idea to add the battery jumpstart switch. The battery jumpstart switch also goes under the driver's seat or under the passenger seat where the DC to DC chargers are. And while we're in there doing all the rewiring, it's the perfect time to add the emergency jumpstart switch. What the emergency jumpstart switch is on your Mercedes, you don't have a way to maintain your Mercedes battery. So if you leave your door open or leave your headlights on, or if you just leave the Mercedes sitting, the battery will die pretty quickly. Some have reported as close as 2 weeks. So the best thing to do is to have an option to use your Lithionics battery to start your chassis off of. So what we do is we put a little button on the side of the seat, and now if you end up with a dead chassis battery, you can push the button and it will connect the Lithionics battery to the Mercedes, and then you can then start the Mercedes from the Lithionics battery. Once the vehicle's running, you switch it back, and now your Mercedes will charge your chassis battery back up. So continuing on with the things included with the boondocking package is we also rewire your breaker panel. So there's 2 topics here. We're talking 2024 and down, not 2025 and up, because in 2025 and up, this has already happened. In 2024 and down, you're gonna have a 2000 watt inverter, or you're gonna have the Magnum inverter, which can either be 1000 or 750. If you have the Magnum inverter, we need to actually rewire the breaker panel from the inverter to the breaker panel. So what we do is we take the breaker panel apart and we modify the breaker panel and we put all of the breakers on inverted power. So what that means is your LTV is still going to work the same way on shore power, the same way on generator power. You can use it the same way you always did, but the difference here now is the breakers with everything on the breakers. If you have a 3-way Dometic fridge, we don't move the Dometic over, so it maintains the way it runs. But everything else will go on the inverted side. So now anything you turn on or plug in anywhere in the LTV is going to work off of the battery. So yes, that means the outlets you couldn't use before, like these outlets here, you can charge your e-bikes. All of the outlets, every outlet in the entire LTV is going to work all the time. Just like you're getting home to your house and you walk into your house, you expect everything to work all the time. That's what this conversion does. It makes it so everything works all the time. So now you can ignore all the inverted plug stickers that are on the outlets inside, because everything's going to work all the time off of power. Now you're going to live exactly the way you did before. When you plug in a shore power generator, none of that changes. So the Boondocking package is an inverter, it is solar, it is the rewire of the electrical system to get it so everything works off of battery power. It's a DC to DC charger. And what you will get with that Boondocking package, let's say you do the single Boondocking package, which is one 320 amp hour battery. Now in the hottest climate, you will be able to go wherever you want, park next to a lake, park next to the ocean, be out in Utah, in Moab on some Bureau of Land Management under the beautiful scenery. You don't need to start your generator and have your generator running in the background. You don't have to plug into power. All you do is start camping. Turn on your AC or your heat pump. Any other electrical product inside the LTV is available all the time. In our temperature, you got about 3 hours on a Dometic for air conditioner runtime. If you move further away into nice weather, that air conditioner runtime is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Typically, our customers are looking for air conditioner runtime and hot climates, and they're looking to run the AC full bore. So when you hear me talk about air conditioner runtimes and how much a battery will supply air conditioner runtime, think sunny South Florida on a hot summer day. All right, so I said I was going to jump back to the Orion TR. So the Orion TR is the other little blue controller in here that you can see next to the battery. The Orion TR is a trickle charger. So Leisure Travel Van does not put anything in the RV to maintain the Mercedes battery when the vehicle is off. So a lot of people are confused by that, and they'll park their RV, and when they come out in 2 weeks, the battery is dead in the Mercedes. This battery charger goes the other direction. So it uses the Lithionics Battery to keep your Mercedes battery charged. So how that charger works is, if your LTV is parked out in the sun and this battery comes all the way up to 100%, it will then start checking the Mercedes battery to see if it needs to be charged. Or if you store your RV in covered storage and you're plugged into shore power, once shore power raises this battery to 100%, this battery will now babysit your Mercedes battery in the same fashion. So that is additional to the Boondocking package. That's an upgrade outside of the Boondocking package. Now this customer is actually a return customer. The first time this customer was here, it was actually not this customer's rig. This rig was owned by somebody else, and they had us do the single Boondocking package. The customer that we're working for now, we did the Boondocking package. The customer we're working on now bought this LTV and started using the Boondocking capabilities immediately, but wanted more than 3 hours of air conditioner runtime. So what we've done is we've added the Atmos, which is another hour of increased air conditioner runtime per battery, and we added 2 more batteries. When we did the Atmos AC installation, the customer also had us do a furnace delete. So when we deleted the furnace from underneath the seat in here, we actually took the furnace out, and then we put 2 more of these 320 amp hour Lithionics battery in here. So I can show you what that looks like. So this typically houses the furnace under this seat. We haven't put it fully back together yet because we want to have this video. But now you can see that 2 of the 320 amp hour batteries fit in there. So this is actually, there's 2 LTVs in here right now, opting for more battery. So these are customers that got a single battery to begin with, and now we're doing multiple batteries. So let's step back outside, and I'm going to show you this another upgrade that's available outside of the boondocking package. So when you talk about boondocking packages, the boondocking packages have other parts and pieces. So like the inverter would typically have a switch in here. If you look at some of our pictures or other videos on YouTube, you'll see there's a big switch right here to turn the inverter on and off. And there's battery buttons. There's a button on the battery inside here. So if I wanted to turn this battery on and off, I have to take the step apart and turn the battery on and off. Well, with the step, you know, you got this panel in here. And this panel here. So anytime you want to get to the battery, you got to go in, take this apart, and go find the battery button to turn the battery on and off. So the customer had a great idea, and they said, can you make me a panel that moves everything inside the RV so that I don't have to go out if it's raining or snowing or whatever the case. I can do everything right from inside the RV. So we were like, heck yes, we can. So if you look in here, this is a convenience panel. This is not going to be your typical convenience panel because we build these convenience panels to match the build that we're doing. So if you start looking at our pictures or our videos, you'll see every single one of these has a different layout. We have a 3D printer here at the shop, and we 3D print the labels. These are printed into the material with white filament, and then we 3D print the footprint of what we're doing. So of course, this LTV has 2 inverters, one inverter for the AC and one inverter for everything else. It's got the inverter cutoff switch. So where you would normally have the inverter cutoff switch out in the bay, you now have these inverter cutoff switch. And then you have all 3 battery buttons. You have a battery button for 1, 2, and 3, and you can turn the batteries on and off from right here. The other big thing that we do is the Lithionics batteries have a great BMS on the inside, and on the Lithionics app, you can look at the state of charge of the batteries. That's fine and dandy, but when you look at the app, you can only see 1 battery at a time. So now what we've started doing is we can put in this Victron battery monitor, and this uses a shunt. So even though the batteries each have their own BMS, we put a shunt in, we wire all 3 batteries, and then you can see a collective number of what the draw is. So right now you can see this battery is drawing 101 amps. Well, the things that we have on right now are the inverter, the refrigerator, the air conditioner, and some lights inside. So now the customer has this on their cell phone, and they have this. So you can look on the app and you can see collectively what your draw is and collectively what the battery percentage is. So 91.5% battery remaining over all 3 batteries. All right, so that's pretty much our boondocking packages in a nutshell. So we offer a single all the way through a quad, and then on top of those boondocking packages, there's a lot of upgrades that you can get in addition to the boondocking package. The best way to get a hold of us is to go on our website. Our website is ctmcustoms.com, and on that page, there's a tab up in the top corner that says Request a Quote. If you click on the Request a Quote tab, that goes directly to my email. A lot of people don't know exactly what they want as the end result, and that holds them up for a long time scheduling their appointment. You don't really need to know exactly what you want, because once you get here to drop your rig off, we're going to consult with you and ask 1,000 questions to make sure that you're getting exactly what you want. As long as you know you're going to do something, you can get on the schedule and we can tailor your build to directly what you want once you get here. Nothing's really set in stone. The important part is that you get your appointment date saved. We have a lot of people now that we're posting YouTube videos that they want to do this on pretty much everything that's out there. This system that we're installing in this, the design of it, this can be installed from anything from a trailer to a Class A motorhome. This style of installation is It doesn't discriminate specifically one brand of RV. This style of making sure that you can get off of shore power and away from generator power and run completely on battery to have air conditioning and all your power available to you while you're boondocking, this can be put in anything. So don't let this limit you to think that you can only do this in an LTV. There's a wide range of vehicles that this system will work in. So we work on a couple of these at a time. This one also is getting is a revisit. Really great. I mean, all of our LTV customers are really great. They have come back for an additional battery. They have 2 batteries originally. We built it as a dual, but we also prepped it for a 3rd battery in the event that they ever wanted to add that 3rd battery. Well, it's been a little over a year and they've decided, yes, they want the 3rd battery. So they're here. We're doing a generator delete on that one. We're doing, we removed the levelers, the EQ levelers, because they drive this off-road a lot and the levelers are getting hung up on everything. And so we might be redoing some solar, doing some other things, but you know, we offer a whole plethora of jobs here. It's crazy the list that we have going. If you're interested in getting that full list of everything that we offer, or you're interested in doing any of these jobs, just give me an email through our website, like I told you before, ctmcustoms.com. Hit the request a quote tab. I'll send you an email, or you can just call the shop and talk to me. I will tell you, I stay more organized if I have emails because we got a lot of people calling. So yeah, if you have any questions or you got anything to add, please like this video, subscribe to this channel. We really want to, we figured out our customers are all over the country and YouTube is turning out to be a really great platform for us to kind of spread the information out. So yeah, share us on Facebook. If you're in any of the Facebook leisure travel van forums or any of the other RV forums that you think would help us with this content, share us there, and subscribing and liking the video is the biggest help. So see ya.